Hey guys, I am not going to be able to be there today. I'm not feeling very well, but we're going to move on with our lesson. I'm going to go ahead and go through the bell ringer with you real quick and everything that you can work on today. And the lesson's pretty short. Tomorrow we're just continuing on this lesson, so I think it'll be okay for you to do these notes and work on all these problems. So today's January 23rd, it's Wednesday, and I have down for you to complete one problem, student choice, out of your bell ringer booklet. If you were absent yesterday, I'll get that to you tomorrow. I'm sure I'll be back tomorrow. Your agenda today, we're going to complete the lesson. You're going to work on additional problems and then work on your vocab today. If you're getting stuck on those problems or you have extra time, make sure you are working on that vocab that is due Friday, those 10 words. You can find those at mathwords.com. So important things to remember, everything from Tuesday through Thursday will still be due on Friday. Your vocab is due on Friday. And you have your new formula quiz on Friday over Pythagorean theorem, your special rights, the 45, 45, 90 that we learned yesterday, and the 30, 60, 90 that you're going to learn today. All right, so I have a couple of things here for you. Your quote for today is that success is the small sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. So to be successful, you need to make sure that you're focused, and those small efforts that you do in class are going to help with your success. So keep going at it. Make sure you stay organized this week, and make sure your focus is on target today. And don't forget about your homework. You're going to have to be working on additional stuff at home. All right, so let's go to our worksheet. I'm going to give you a moment, pause the video if you need to, and I want you to pull out this worksheet, this handout that we were working on yesterday. If this is playing for the whole class, make sure someone pauses the video and gives everybody time to get their worksheet out, step up and be that leader for the class. All right, so we did 45, 45, 90s yesterday, and today we're on 30, 60, 90s, the other special right. So just like yesterday's, there's formulas that you use for these. The only difference is you don't have two angle measures that are the same. But 30 plus 60 still adds to be 90 because 90 plus 90 is 180. But when we do these, we don't have two legs that are equal. So we actually have three separate formulas. So we go back and talk about our shorter leg, our longer leg, and the hypotenuse like we were doing the previous week. Now, the way you identify your legs, you look at it, it looks like this one's shorter, this one's longer. But the way you identify them is you look at the angle measures. And the side opposite the smallest angle, so 30 is smaller than 60. So the side opposite it is going to be your smallest angle at X. Then the side opposite of 60, this is going to be your longer leg. Okay, this is going to be your longer one. We're going to talk about what the formula is for that one and the hypotenuse just momentarily. So X is your shorter one. This one across from 60 over here is your longer. And that leaves this being the hypotenuse. Okay, so let me go ahead and write your formula and what it would be from here now that we've identified those sides. The way I always recommend labeling this is you start with your short side and call it X. Then go to your hypotenuse, remember the 90-degree angle points at it, and call it 2x. And that leaves your longer side. Now to do your longer side, notice you have three distinct angle measures you can equal. You can either be a 90, a 30, or a 60-degree angle on this. So since you have three, this one is going to be x radical 3. You remember yesterday with the 45, 45, 90, you could only be 45 or 90, so we called that x radical 2. But this one is 90, 30, 60. So there are three angle measures, so you use radical 3 on this one. So your short leg is x. Your longer leg is the x radical 3. It's the more difficult one. And your hypotenuse is just 2 times x. So again, the idea works. If I knew what x is, I know all my answers. For example, if x was 2, don't write this on your paper, just watch. If x was 2, then your short leg would be 2. Your long leg would be 2 radical 3. And your hypotenuse would be 2 times 2, which is 4. So you'd have all your answers there. If your x was 5, Your short leg would be 5. Your long leg would be 5 radical 3. And the hypotenuse would be 2 times 5, which is 10. So the same idea on how this works. If you know the number, then you can solve. Okay, so we have our formulas. We're going to go ahead. I'm going to have to scroll down a little bit so I can get this. So I'm going to have to erase my formulas. So if you need them, please pause the video. Again, stop the video. Make sure everybody has them. If you're listening to this yourself, just pause it yourself. Okay, so we're going to do a series of problems down here. Trying to get this up far enough. So let's go ahead and look at these problems. Again, I like to just mark off that Y because I don't want to get confused since I'm labeling X's. So I always say label starting with your short side. So this is the shorter leg. So we're going to do X, then move to your hypotenuse and do 2X. And then that leaves this side just being X radical 3. Now you still do the same idea. You walk around until you find a side measure. And when you find the side measure, that gets you started. So in this case, the side measure is 5, and 5 represents X. So that means the hypotenuse would be 2 times 5, which is 10. And your longer leg would be 5. You're just replacing the X, 5 radical 3. And so that makes 5 radical 3, and this makes this 10. Okay, looking at the next example, mark off my Y. Notice this is a 30, so the shorter leg is across from it, so we're going to label the side. So this would be X. Move to your hypotenuse. This would be 2X. Move to your longer leg. This would be X radical 3. Walk around until you find your X, or your side length. That's 14, which happens to be X. So you do 2 times 14, which is 28. And you would replace the X, it'd be 14 radical 3. Okay, moving to number 6. Mark off your Y. Your short leg is across from the 30, so that's X, already labeled for me. Go to the hypotenuse, so this would be 2X, and the long leg would be X radical 3. Take a walk along the outsides, find your number. So there's 32. So 32 equals 2X. You have a really small equation here. 32 equals 2X. To solve for X, I just need to divide by 2. And X would equal, 2 will go into 3 one time. Gives you 12 left over. It'd be 16. And now I can just replace X with 16. So this is going to equal 16. Placing X, 16 radical 3. So 16 radical 3. Okay, moving on to number 7. Mark off your Y. Okay, this time, notice there's 60 here. That means 30 has to be here because 30 plus 60 is 90. 90 plus 90 is 180. So that means your short side is actually here. Your hypotenuse, 90 points at it, is right here. So it's going to equal 2X. And then your other side is going to be your X radical 3. So when we walk around, we got 46 equaling 2X again. So we have to solve that equation. We got to divide by 2. And X is going to equal 23. I can write here. All right, so then we have X being 23. And we have replace the X, 23 radical 3. Okay, we get down to this problem. It's a little hard to see on this, but I'm going to just trace the bottom. Maybe it'll stick out. My picture has the PDF image. All right, so we're going to go ahead and make, let me switch colors. We're going to go ahead and make this bottom part of the triangle. There we go. And this is 60 degrees down here. And so this would be my 30. So this makes this side down here the short side. So this is going to be X. The hypotenuse is going to be 2X. And this will be the X radical 3. And this is the part that we got into yesterday where we have to divide by those radicals. Okay, so we're going to take 20 equals X radical 3, divide by radical 3. These will cancel, and in the calculators, you need to do 20 divided by radical 3. And you're going to go ahead and just get a decimal, which is 11.5. So x would equal 11.5 rounded. It was 5.4, but we would round it to 11.5. So over here, you're going to do 2 times 11.5, which would be 23. And down here, it'd just be 11.5. If I remember right, this is the actual X slot, and this would be the Y slot. That's 11.5. All right, moving on to the next one. Let's mark off our Y. Okay, start with your short side. So across from the 30 is X. Hypotenuse is 2X. And the other side would be X radical 3. Now this is the nice one that they give you. So here's my number. I'm going to set it equal to this. Notice they both have radical 3, so you can mark those off, and X just equals 9. So if X equals 9, this would be 9. This would be 2 times 9, and that would equal 18. So there's 6 examples of how you would do 30, 60, 90s. Let's go ahead and look at our assignment checklist real quick and see what we need to do. Pause this in case anyone needs to get it down, or if you need to copy down, now's a great time to pause. Okay, our assignment checklist for Tuesday, or I'm sorry, I'm off on days. Yesterday was Tuesday, today is Wednesday, so we're looking right here. So the handout notes, whole problems, now you can finish out the handout problems. Guys, those double triangles, I'm going to do some examples with you tomorrow, so only focus on the single triangles. Springboard problems, 10, 11, and 13 on page 297, so go circle those on page 297 in your springboard pages. And on page 298, 14 through 19, so 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. All those have to do with this 30, 60, 90 great examples. And when we're there tomorrow, we're just going to be working some more on these. So I'll do a few more examples tomorrow in class of some of the more difficult ones. Work on everything you can. And if you get done early or you get to a point you just can't go any farther, you should work on your vocab. So everybody has something to work on today. Make sure you answer day 2 question on the back of the sheet as well. And if you don't have this handout, there should be some extras on the table, the single table to the side. You guys have a great day, and I hope to feel better and see you guys tomorrow.